What is going on? Welcome back to the Waterboys podcast. We are back better than ever. Another episode, season 3, episode 3. Boys, how are we?
Doing good. I'm excited to be back. We got ourselves an eventful week 2 and a highly anticipated week 3, so I'm happy to dive into it with y'all. Kyle, you're a little under the weather, so
I am.
We're going to try to keep this one at a good time for y'all, but also for you, just so that, you can rest that voice of yours.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Kind.
Jackson, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm fantastic. 3 weeks in a row now. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. We're on a good little streak here.
Yeah, we are.
And yeah, I'm really excited for the topics today. Not only to talk about the NFL breakdown, all the stuff in week 2. I thought it was a better week 2 than week 1. A little more exciting. Points scored. Fantasy was a little bit more electric. Didn't feel like there was any good quarterbacks in week 1 in fantasy for the most part. So I'm excited to talk about that and maybe a little college football.
Yes.
Ooh.
You said
maybe,
but it is true. We're gonna get into a little college football here. We're gonna. I don't know if you'd call it a debate or I don't know what you'd call it, but Steve has pitched an idea for us here, and we're gonna compare the mesmerizing Colorado football team versus the head-scratching Alabama Crimson Tide and their coaches. So, Steve, what's going on?
Yeah, so if you were with us last week, we kind of talked about, our thoughts surrounding the sports world. And this has kind of been one that's been swirling around my head, especially as college football has started, and we've seen the rise of the Colorado Buffaloes and Deion Sanders and just everything surrounding that program. And then on the other side, we've been seeing how Alabama has barely been talked about. They've not really fallen off. They're still, a top 15 team, but for Alabama, I'd say that's falling off. So I was thinking to myself the past few weeks, and especially this week, what is going on? Like, what's the difference between these two programs? Because on the one side, you have Colorado, who's completely flipped their program, basically cleaned house of any player that was there last year, really recruited hard out the transfer portal, and they've made a very successful team under Deion Sanders. Then on the other hand, Alabama is Alabama. Like, why wouldn't you want to go to Alabama? So why are they struggling to put together a good start to the season when Alabama has been the program for years and years and years? Coach Sabens has been the guy for years and years and years. And now we get Deion Sanders onto the scene, and he's taking guys out of the transfer portal. He's recruiting very well. People want to be at Colorado, and that has never been a thing before. So what I want to talk about today, and other things will come up through this because that's what a discussion is, their coaching styles. We see Deion Sanders. He is but he encourages flashiness, playmakers. He encourages guys to express themselves using NIL, using their platform that they have at Colorado. It's very much an idea of let's have fun on the football team and as a team and enjoy the success that comes with all of what we're doing on and off the field. Nick Saban has been very by the book all these years, very strict, very demanding of all of his players, and I have my thoughts on it of why maybe these programs are flipping their success, but I really wanted to hear from you guys. Do we think that coaching styles and the way that they are establishing their teams in 2023, do you think that their coaching styles are switching as far as Coach Sabens, his coaching style isn't going to live up to what kids want these days, but Deion Sanders, on the other hand, that's what kids want. That's what kids want to be about now. So do we think that their coaching styles, Nick Saban is being outdated, and Deion Sanders is the future of college football?
That's a really good question.
It is.
I'd like to offer one thing quickly before taking a crack at that. I do think that while Deion Sanders was known he was known for his playmaking ability as a player himself, right? Both in college and the NFL. There's a reason he's called Prime Time Coach Prime, right? And his flashiness and all that stuff. But I will say that from the day that he entered that Colorado facility, I have probably watched his first speech to the players, first time he met the team, probably like 5 times. It's like a 14-minute speech. And I think that he is similar to Nick Saban in what he expects out of his players. And what I mean by that is, while Nick Saban, we'll get into this in a second, whether his coaching style in terms of, how he allows players to express themselves might be a little outdated, especially with the new changes to how players are allowed to do so now in the NCAA. But I do think that they both demand the same level of excellence and perfection and team play. I know that Deion Sanders is about the team. He had even Michael Irvin come in for a speech one time that was extremely similar to his, in that it's a team sport. It's a large roster. It's not one person's show. That stated, he does attract playmakers. To your point, Stephen, he has been excellent at recruiting, and he has completely flipped a previously 1-11 program to ranked 19th in the nation at the moment, and they look really, really good. They're going to be a tough team to play. So I will say that I don't want to put Deion Sanders in one bucket, that he's like this flashy playmaking coach, just wants to have fun, almost like the Steve Kerr of the NCAA. In terms of his like a laissez-faire approach. I don't think that's him. But he definitely does allow more expression than Nick Saban. And with the changes and what players are able to do now legally, and they're able to create an income for themselves now in the NCAA. I do think that to a certain degree, how Nick Saban goes about running his team, managing his team, might start to become a little old or a thing of a past for certain players. But I think if you have the right maturity out of a player and they're thinking about the NFL and their future, you can't deny the success of that program.
Right.
So that's not really a hard take, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I appreciate you putting that, because I don't want this to sound like Deion Sanders is just doing it for the attention. He's an excellent coach, but he just adds I'll say, fun element to
absolutely
a game
does.
that's already fun.
Yeah, so I think, and you might agree or disagree, I think that in my mind just comes from the generation that they're a part of. Nick Saban is 70 plus years old, and Deion is maybe like 50, or maybe, I don't know. And Deion Sanders has kids who are young. They have grown up in a completely different culture than Nick Saban was a part of. And so I think the expression is just, they're completely different ages and different mindsets. And one of you said it, Deion Sanders was a flashy player. I don't know what Nick Saban's background is, and as far as did he play football like at a high level?
He did, but he played college football, but it wasn't on the level of Deion Sanders.
I mean,
plus
I just
Deion had the pro career.
I just think it's a personality thing in terms of that. Nick Saban's kind of an old man, and Deion is kind of that hip dad, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So that's just what I thought of.
Yeah. Yeah, my initial thought of it is that Deion is trying to invest in his players to build confidence in them. And he said it before, I'm pretty sure, because this was a team, like Jackson said, that was 1-11 last year. There are no expectations as far as how successful they're going to be. Them already winning 3 games is great. In my eyes,
their win column.
In my eyes, they've already succeeded. Now they're not going to settle for 3 wins, but
of course not.
Then on the other hand, you've got Alabama, who's Alabama. 3 wins to start the year is not good enough. And even 2-1 as they are right now is definitely not good enough, especially after they struggled with South Florida last week.
Yeah.
And so, in my eyes, the expectations that the Alabama fan base and Nick Saban have for these young men that are coming into Alabama to play football, I feel like this generation doesn't want to have those lofty expectations and that pressure coming into their college career and play for Nick Saban, who is a very hardball guy, very by-the-book guy. Similar, I mean, people compare him to Bill Belichick all the time. So guys don't, I feel like in this generation, guys don't want that sort of coaching, which that's just my assumption. It's probably not true. But to me, it seems like they want to be a part of something that is going to give them instant gratification, such as Colorado. It's the new wave. It's Deion Sanders. It's a revamping of this program. You get to take pictures with the Rolls Royces, the different cars, the flashy stuff. Like, it's cool for an 18-year-old kid to come and see that. Nick Saban is not cool, but he's going to win. But is he going to win at this level like he used to with his coaching style now? That's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kel.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just a quick thing on that. I also think that in terms of winning, losing, right? How Nick Saban wins, I think is different from how other college football teams win. In terms of how he builds his team, the offensive linemen and the defensive personnel and even receiving corps that come out of Alabama are typically NFL class players, and they are ready to go. You get a lot of Alabama players going in the first round. Quarterbacks, though, with the exception of what Tua is doing now, I wouldn't say they have a long history of creating generational quarterback talent. Mm-mm. However, you get people like Caleb Williams, or what's Deion Sanders' son's first name? Sorry, it starts with a T. Yeah, Shador. Thank you, not T. Shador Sanders looks fantastic, and just a lot of quarterbacks coming out of different schools where they're almost allowed to maybe make a little bit more mistakes, but they throw the ball more through the air. And when you get a really good quarterback, it's almost like playing Mahomes or Allen in the NFL. Right? Like, it's just hard to beat that team because of how much damage their quarterback can do versus how Saban wins his games. I don't necessarily see their current team just creating this aerial attack. Like, I don't see that out of their current QB, and I don't think that their recruiting strategy is necessarily to get like the top Joe Burrow-esque quarterback. Joe Burrow was at LSU, right? So yeah, I don't know. That's just those are my thoughts when I think of NFL great quarterbacks currently or even in recent years. An Alabama one really does not come to mind. Mac Jones or Tua are the only two that Tua's proving to be pretty good, but Mac Jones, he might not be a starter for another few years. He's not that great. He's good, but I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that.
And quarterbacks is exactly the issue surrounding Alabama this year. They can't find consistent play out of their quarterbacks. So already they've tried Tyler Buchanan. They're trying Jalen Milroe this week. Ty Simpson's a freshman. And so they don't know exactly what they have with quarterbacks right now. And so why was it hard for Alabama, the Crimson Tide, to recruit a star quarterback this year? I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, why should a top program for the past 2 decades and more not be able to recruit a stud quarterback either out of the transfer portal or out of high school? It's just I don't get it.
I just don't think that's their goal. I mean, like, it is their goal, obviously, but like,
but you need it for
you do, but you also don't, because like Mac Jones won titles. Tua won a title. Right. And like, I don't think that they're really good. Don't get me wrong. But like, my point in saying that is that like Michigan's pitch to JJ McCarthy probably wasn't, you're going to be like, you're going to necessarily win the title, but you're going to be the center of this offense. You're going to be our star, and we're going to live and die by your arm. Like, that's a really good pitch for a quarterback that wants to make a name for himself and wants to go to the NFL. Right. Like, they're able to put up higher stats. I don't think that the way Alabama wins games and goes about winning games is necessarily to do things in the same way that these other schools, they get this really good quarterback and they let that quarterback decide who wins the game. I don't know. Like those are my thoughts. Michigan obviously has a good run game as well. I'm not saying that they don't win in other ways, but
yeah,
you are right. I mean, that it shouldn't be hard to necessarily recruit someone to Alabama of all schools.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it's a Nick Saban thing or what. But that's just been the question that's been mulling around in my head. Any closing thoughts on that before I say something else?
I just say we'll find out about Colorado. They've got a couple tough games coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Some really tough games. We'll find out if they're the real deal, and we'll see what happens with Alabama. I think, Stephen, you said it. They've gone through 3 quarterbacks, or will have gone through 3 quarterbacks. A lot of inconsistency there, so we'll see what happens. They have 1 loss already, and if they lose, I believe it's Ole Miss this weekend. I think. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Somebody like that. Then they're definitely, we talked about this a little before, and they're definitely out of the playoffs with 2 losses. And last year, they weren't that great either, for being honest. Like, they were kind of a sneaky, barely got into the playoffs. They got into the playoffs? They didn't.
I don't think so. I think
Maybe
they
they
came
didn't.
in at number 5.
But they were
That seems
close.
like forever.
But they weren't that great all last year either. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Deion's the new wave and Nick Saban is on his outs. We'll see.
Yeah, and I mean it's tough to say Nick Saban's on his way out just because of 2 mediocre years, but it's also concerning. Like
I mean, and maybe it's. I mean, Nick Saban's obviously the face of it, but maybe it's the coaching staff as a whole. Maybe he needs to hire some new coaches. I just don't know. I mean, he can't do it all by himself. So we'll see.
I will say, so my final remarks about Colorado and Alabama, mainly Colorado here, but I'm all for Deion's coaching style. Like, I think he's marketing to what this generation wants and people want to be a part of. I mean, the whole country is behind him. I think just today, Warren Sapp said that he plans to join the coaching staff next year at Colorado. Like, you're having NFL Hall of Famers that want to be a part of this college team because of the culture that he's creating. He's allowing these kids to have fun, building confidence in them, and then they're also winning on top of it. Like, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So, great job, Deion. I think people doubted that he could do it at the Power 5 level, and he's doing an excellent job at it, even if they don't win the next 2 weeks against these. I know they play USC and
Oregon.
Oregon, yeah. Even if they don't win those games, like I said, like Jackson said, you've tripled your wins from last year. You've already shown that you can win at this level. So, good job, Deion. Yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's a great storyline for the college football season.
Yeah,
it's a slippery slope.
But yeah, it is. Fun fact. More bets were placed on the Colorado game last week than all the NFL games combined.
Gosh, were you one of them?
I was not, actually. I thought about it. I really did, but I hated the spread on Colorado State. They were supposed to win by like over 20, and I was like, I don't know that they'll necessarily. Yeah, Colorado was. Sorry.
What about this weekend? Do you fancy any? What do you think?
I don't know what they have the odds at. I'm clicking on it now. I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure Colorado is 20-plus point underdogs this week. So quite the.
Oh, I would totally take that.
I don't know. I would take Colorado. I would take Colorado.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so they are plus 20.5. I would absolutely take that bet.
So with Colorado,
I'll do that right now. That's a great bet.
Colorado's best player, Travis Hunter, is out for a few
That's
weeks.
True.
Yes.
So
yeah, he is.
That's why. That lacerated liver or something?
Dude, he got popped on the sideline.
That's
I don't know if you guys saw that, but
crazy story. The events surrounding that hit now.
Yeah. We don't go too much on a tangent, but yes, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But
anyway.
All right. Well, we can wrap up this
football.
part of it. Thank you for indulging in what's been going on in my head.
No, this is good.
Of course.
Good to
It was
indulge.
great to be inside your head.
Thank you.
It was fun in there.
This is a lot of thoughts.
All
would
right.
never-
So, moving on. I've been sitting on the edge of my seat over here. Obviously, if you've been sticking along, we have
Me
weekly
too.
picks. And Steve has been holding out on the numbers for us. So before we get to
Yeah.
week 3 picks, Steve, go ahead and give us week 2 tallies.
This is my drum roll.
Give it to me.
Coming in at last place for week number 2,
Wait, time out.
the suspense. What is
Time
it?
out. Is this
I
just
need to know.
2 totals or is this overall?
This is just week 2.
Okay.
I'll try to do the quick
Okay.
math, but I'll probably get it wrong.
Okay.
Week 2 results. Jackson, you came in last. You were 9-7.
No way! Was I really?
All of your swing picks were losses, basically.
Oh,
So sorry
brutal.
that didn't work out for you.
You picked
Yeah,
against
that
the Commanders,
sucks.
didn't you? That's probably why.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. I
you were
did pick
probably
against the
feeling pretty
Commanders.
good about that.
I was. Broncos had them. I saw that. Yeah, that was a great comeback. Broncos also-
Didn't have them at all. We just wanted them to feel like they could do.
Yeah,
You're just toying
Yeah,
with
my-
them like a
my
little cat
mistake.
laser. You're like, ha ha.
yeah.
No.
Oh gosh.
So Jackson,
Chargers blew it against the Titans too.
They
Oh
did.
gosh, there were
Yeah.
so many games.
Jags. Yeah.
Packers. I picked Packers though.
I picked
I should have picked the Falcons. I thought about it. I really
know.
did.
I know. I'm sorry
But
I
to be fair-
guilted you out of that.
No, it's okay. Packers had that game. Like they shouldn't have lost that game.
So it was funny because
They had no business winning that.
you know how we recorded right after ODU lost and I was all sad. The Packers lost
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
exact same way. They controlled 3
Yeah.
quarters and then they laid an egg in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they had like
Terrible.
at least a 2 touchdown or at least a 2 score lead. I don't know how many, but
So
they
Jackson,
looked-
through 2 weeks, your total is 18-14. You're above 500. That's okay though. Kyle, you came in 2nd place this week with an 11-5.
This is why he wanted to keep it from us so long. He just
Wow.
wanted the glory of soaking
I
in.
was way far behind y'all. Oh no!
Did you say
So-
11-5?
11-5.
Yeah,
Very
So
good.
you were 12-4. There's no way you were 13-3.
I was 12-4.
Okay,
Yep.
Good
So
week.
Kyle,
Kyle,
through 2 weeks, you're sitting at 19-13, and I am sitting at 22-10.
So I'm
Off
one game
to a
back from Kyle, but I'm
fire
a solid
start.
4 games
The
back.
first, just so we know,
Steve.
maybe you weren't around, but the first year that we did picks, I'm pretty sure I smoked Steve. Just putting
You
that
did.
out there.
Okay.
By the end of the year, you had like a good 30-game lead.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Way
Don't
to go,
let
Kyle.
it.
Yeah,
It's
It's
still
early.
early.
There's
But
there can
I'm
be
coming for
Congrats,
y'all.
Steve.
I'm picking
12
every team
and-
against what you're picking this week.
12-4 is a solid week right there.
Thank you. I was very
That's a
happy
great
with
week.
it.
Yeah.
I wonder
should-
what the most we've gotten
should
right
bet.
in 1 week is.
I don't know. We'll
This
start
season
it at
it's
12.
12-4.
All right.
Man, Lions lost too. Did you pick the Seahawks over the Lions? I feel like I remember you doing that.
Me? No. I actually
Yeah,
picked the
you did
Lions.
not.
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong?
Everywhere.
Well,
Not
yeah.
picking the
We-
Commanders.
yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we don't need to break it down right now.
but okay, so we can go ahead. Let me clear up my document here. Get everything in order. But we can go ahead
Ready.
and go into week 3 picks.
Week 3, baby.
The season is flying along, and
That's how it
already
always is.
we have storylines of Aaron Rodgers out, Nick Chubb out, grueling
injury.
injury. I don't know if you guys saw
Yeah.
it.
His knee is melted.
And that was the same knee that he injured badly in college.
Yep.
So I would say his
Yeah.
career is in jeopardy. Although I never would want to wish that on Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb. He's been great.
I do too.
So really tough for the Browns. The Browns just re-signed Kareem Hunt today.
He did.
Actually. So
Saw
go
that.
in your fantasy leagues and pick him up. I know I already did.
I have him and Jerome Ford. Because I had Chubb
There you
and
go.
Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. So
I'm
actually,
scrambling
sorry, last
like
note,
an egg.
Last note before we get into these picks.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Somebody said the last 3 Monday night games: Damar Hamlin, Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb.
Ooh,
Yeah,
it's the
In
Monday
that
night
order.
curse.
the Monday nights.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's playing this Monday? Please don't say Jaguars.
It's probably the Packers.
It's Bengals and Rams.
Oh, Joe Burrow. He's done. He said this week that his calf is bothering him. He's done.
Or honestly, Stafford's due for another elbow injury. I'd never wish any of these on anyone. Mixon hasn't been injured in a while.
It's Joe Burrow.
Why is there
Bengals have a lot of skill players that have dodged injuries for years. It's very interesting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Why is
I don't want to get into that though.
Monday night games again. What is is this the new thing?
I don't know. Oh yeah, Eagles and Bucks play too. Ooh,
Very
I want to pick the
interesting.
Bucks for that game. All right, let's
Y'all ready?
do the
ready.
picks. I'm
Let's
ready.
get into
I'm
these
ready.
picks.
All right.
Yeah, let's pick them.
So, screen is loading. All right, Thursday night. Giants at the 49ers.
Niners.
Yeah.
Absolutely Niners.
Yeah. Niners all around.
Yeah, that's a simple one. Saquon out for now. No timetable.
He's in
for
my
his
other
return.
fantasy team.
Thoughts and prayers, man. Thoughts and prayers.
Brutal. I lost Chubb and Saquon in the same week.
Oh. All right, Colts at Ravens.
Ooh,
Ravens.
Ravens. Yep.
I got Ravens as well. And a side note, with this whole running back disaster, I feel like the Colts should be able to shop Jonathan Taylor pretty easily now. I don't know. I feel like
so
there's a
too.
lack of.
I actually would love to see
running backs.
see him at the Ravens
Well, they did
because
just
they lost
J.K.
J.K. Dobbins in his contract year. They have no financial obligation to him, which I hate to see that happen to him. But he's out for a year. I think Justice Hill is their starter, and don't get me wrong, they rotate their running backs. I'd love to see that.
That's true.
That'd be an interesting fit.
Yeah.
Because Odell's not really working out as much as they thought. It's more like a Zay Flowers show. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll keep going.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I just think that there's opportunity now to shop him more than there was at the beginning of the year. So
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, Titans at Browns. I got the Titans.
You know that Deshaun Watson has the worst passer rating of all starting quarterbacks this year?
It's not good.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
also gonna take the Titans.
Oh, man.
Jackson,
Swing pick.
do you want
I
a swing
think-
pick?
I'm going to take the Browns.
Wow.
I don't think the Titans had any business winning the game against the Chargers. They got lucky. And I think the Browns defense is actually one of the best in the NFL.
All right.
And I don't think the Titans offense is good at all. So we'll see.
Falcons at Lions.
Ugh. Sneaky Falcons,
That's a tough
huh?
one. Yeah, 2-0. One of the analysts on Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt, is growing a mustache in solidarity with Arthur Smith, the head coach of the Falcons, until they lose, and he didn't think they would have this start. So it's becoming a big thing for them not to lose, so he can just keep growing this mustache. He hates it.
Wow.
Side note. And in that vein, I will go Falcons.
All right.
I think I'm also gonna go Falcons. I'm just gonna ride the train a little bit.
I'm actually going to go Lions. This is going to be my swing pick. We'll see.
Yeah.
Saints at Packers. 2-0 Saints. Didn't see that coming, but also neither game that they've played real well. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
I've got Packers, of course.
I'm gonna go Pack as well.
Attaboy.
I'm going to go Saints.
All right.
He's doubling down on having all the swing picks.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually dislike the Saints. I think they win games.
It's the
I don't-
Lambeau home opener. I mean,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Come on.
Is Aaron Jones still out?
He's questionable.
Oh, okay. Well, that's tough. Come back to me. I'm gonna do a little research on that.
All right.
Yeah. I want to see where he's at.
Texans at Jags.
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 I actually
Pick Texans.
okay. I'm going to pick Texans soon because I think CJ Stroud is actually playing okay. So I expect a win soon. I kind of want to pick the Texans. I don't know if this week is the week because the Jags defense has actually been pretty good.
They've been solid. 7th in fantasy, but they're even better than that.
I'm
other
gonna
categories.
stay with the Jags.
Yeah.
We'll stew on that Texans pick for the future. All right, Broncos at Dolphins. High on the Dolphins. Go
High
Fins.
on the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
All right. Sorry, I'm writing these down. Chargers at Vikings.
Ooh.
Vikings.
Chargers.
Chargers keep letting me down. I picked them 2 weeks in a row. Chargers. We'll go Chargers again.
Wow. All right.
I don't know about that
Patriots
one.
at Jets.
Patriots have won the last 14 games against the Jets.
That's a great
Saw that
stat.
today. Yeah, that is a great stat.
The Jets will
And
break that this week.
Nah.
Week 3.
Zach Wilson accounts for at least 4 of those. I'm pretty sure more.
Attaboy, Kyle.
Okay, I'm gonna go Patriots.
All right. This is probably your best swing pick. Just
Yeah.
saying. But we'll see. Bills at Commanders. Huge game for the
Sold
boys.
out, baby. Let's go.
Really?
Josh Allen looked much better, by the way.
Yeah, bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's against the Raiders. That's, it's not
Something, though.
quite the same. But it is something. He's proving that he'll beat the teams he should beat, which is good. It's just I'm curious how he plays.
Yeah.
Against
Speaking of beating teams he should beat, I'm going to pick the Bills.
Okay.
Jackson,
Yeah,
you're being
sorry.
a little rude. I've not been rude about the
Going at both
Jags.
y'all's teams. Aaron Jones still has a hamstring injury. He still has not practiced. I'm going to pick. Oh, gosh. I'm going to pick the Saints,
Okay.
operating under the assumption right now that he does not play.
Okay.
And I want that to be known, that if he plays, I'm way more confident the Packers can win that game.
If the Packers win, you can't go back and change it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not going to change it. I just
chalk,
want
it's
it known on air that I am picking the Saints because I don't think Aaron Jones is going to play.
We'll cut that bit out.
Yeah.
Back to Commanders, Kyle. You got Commanders right.
Of course.
I think with the presence of Chase Young on that defensive line, the pressure will be too much for Josh Allen. He will turn the ball over, and the Commanders win this one, 24-20. Book it. Huge take by Steve.
That's the swing pick. That's the swing pick right there.
Well-
That's the one I needed. I might change my Saints pick to the Packers just to even it out. I don't need the swing pick anymore.
All right, moving along. Kyle knew that'd make
That's
you
crazy.
feel better. All right.
Huge pick.
Panthers at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Hawks as well.
Yeah. Bounce back game.
Bryce Young,
Trash.
did you guys see that they can't run a QB sneak with him? Like, it's actually not possible because he's too small.
I believe that. He's like one of the smallest starting. I think he's the smallest starting quarterback in the NFL right now. I wouldn't be shocked.
All right, Cowboys at Cardinals. Cardinals, I will say, have been playing better than people said they would.
I didn't think
they-
they'd get more than 2 wins, but they could realistically have 2 at the moment.
They
It's
should.
very interesting. But I'm still picking Cowboys. I think.
Me too.
I mean, we said this on the. I said this on the cut episode. We didn't end up airing, and then I kind of backtracked it on the one we re-recorded. But I really do think the Cowboys are going to at least go to the NFC Championship this year.
They're good.
I don't like the Cowboys, but I love Mike McCarthy calling these plays. Their offense looks a lot more put together, and their defense is insane. I mean, like they just stomped on the Jets like that. I thought that was going to be a battle of the defenses, and the Cowboys were able to put up 30 points on the Jets defense that completely killed Josh Allen.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's a good team. Sorry, Kyle. I mean, I know that's tough, and I kind of hate myself for saying that, but they look really good.
Kyle,
Cardinals.
who you going with Cardinals?
Cardinals. the Birds. No
You're
way.
loyal. I'll
Yeah, no, I get it. Also, I'm going to change my pick to the Packers at this point
Oh
because
my
there's
gosh.
swing picks.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
changing picks.
This is ridiculous. All right.
Saints win. I was right.
Bears at Chiefs. The Bears are
Chiefs.
so bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah,
I think they're the
love
worst
it.
team in the NFL.
I love it. I got
they're
Chiefs.
terrible.
This is easy, Chiefs.
Easy Chiefs.
Steve, maybe we need to live stream the Commanders Bills game.
That'd be a fun one. I'd
That'd
be in
be
for
big.
that.
Unless
be a
they
big-
get
I'm
absolutely
game.
smoked.
I'm in for that, especially because it's one of the swing picks. We definitely shouldn't do one where we all pick the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there needs to be a little tension.
That's a little sneak peek.
That's a little something we've been thinking about.
Forgot we were recording this. We might be doing some live streaming, so keep an eye out.
Stay tuned.
And an ear out for that.
Yeah.
Cool stuff to come.
All right. And then Sunday night, Steelers at Raiders. Just a terrible Sunday night game.
The Monday night games last week were trash. Sunday night this week is trash.
Why are they giving
I like
Kenny
this.
Pickett?
I like the Steelers. I mean, Steelers, they played the 49ers, and who did they just lose to?
They just beat the Browns.
Oh, they beat the Browns.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, Browns have a good defense. I don't think the Raiders' defense is good at all, as evidenced by what Allen did to them. I mean, Allen's obviously good, but still.
Their offense.
I think Steelers are going to have a breakout night. They had a lot of hype in the preseason and really haven't lived up to it. I think they're due for a win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Steelers as well.
Yeah. Me too. All right, and then Kyle, as you mentioned, 2 Sunday night games: Eagles at Bucks. This is a pretty good game.
Yeah, Bucks look decent this year.
I do.
I'd love to see the Eagles lose this game. Gosh, I want them to lose so bad.
Go Tampa Bay.
It's at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Bucks. I think Baker gets it done.
Baker's Buccaneers.
Kid's a fighter.
Yeah. All
Baker's
right.
Bucks, baby.
I'm taking Eagles, so let's go Eagles.
That's a great swing pick.
Rams at Bengals.
Bengals let me down this year too.
I think the Bengals get it done this week. They started 0-2 last year, turned it around. People had their doubts. This is where they turn it around tonight. Not tonight,
yeah.
Monday night. Despite the Joe Burrow injury that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Steve. Bengals.
All right.
I'm going to go with Rams.
I feel like Jackson. It's like Jackson is always the odd man out.
I really am, and I'm losing this game, so maybe I should take a hint and stop doing this. But here's the thing. Okay, Rams beat the Seahawks 30-13 week 1. It's a great showing on offense and defense.
Puka.
They then lost to the 49ers. The 49ers, who are a very good team, 30-23. They lost by a touchdown. They put up 23 points on the Niners defense. I think that's a feat.
Yeah.
I do not think the Bengals defense looks good at all. Deshaun Watson, who has the lowest passer rating of any starting quarterback, that team put up 24.
All right.
So I don't love the Bengals' chances. I think they're actually in trouble, and I think they're going to have an 0-3 start. I think they are going to make the wild card, but I think that's the Ravens' division to lose. Which, for viewer background, Ravens and Bengals are in the same division. So one of those, whoever wins that division, will go to the playoffs.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
Still
no,
confused.
it was for viewer background. It was for viewers.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
All right. So those are our picks.
The picks are.
See next week.
We need like a lock. It's like the picks are locked.
If I lose again, I'm just going to start picking whatever y'all are picking for a few weeks just to
get back.
Catch my legs.
Okay. All right. And then we're going to run into the last bit of this episode. Everyone's new favorite, maybe? Last Man Standing?
I hope so.
I was thinking about it.
It's great.
What was I thinking? I was thinking about it Monday. Because, Jackson, you already have the 1 strike.
I do.
If you get to 2 strikes, and this isn't just you, this is us. Like, if we get to 2 strikes, the pick becomes so much more bigger. So,
oh yeah, it's massive.
We're all sitting pretty good right now. Each of our picks,
I only have the 1.
Each of our picks panned out this week. Jackson, you had the Bills, I had the Bucks, and Kyle, you had the Dolphins. So good job, us.
Yep.
This week,
good wins all around.
I haven't looked at it enough, so I hope I don't have to go first. But we're gonna let the old phone decide. Just to walk our viewers through the rules one more time, we're all picking a game we feel particularly strongly about. When I say strongly, the outcome of a game, right? Once each of us picks a team, that team is now not allowed to be picked for the remainder of the year to us, but still available to everyone else except for the week they're picked on. So Kyle's gone first, I think 2 weeks in a row, and I've gone last 2 weeks in a row. I still blame my first strike on that because I wanted the Ravens. But
That's okay. I am due to go first.
Well,
So give
Jackson,
it to me.
you're number 3, Kyle, you're number 2, and I'm number 1.
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Get the glare off of it.
3, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, come on.
Good
Now I
job.
really can't mess up. I'd also like to take this moment to explain the 110 plus rubber duckies behind me. Steven broke into my apartment while I was away and
legally
hid them everywhere. This is
Legally
yet,
broken.
but maybe half of the ducks sitting around my apartment. I think the best location was probably the one in my Crocs because I didn't see them. And so when I put it on with my bare feet, I thought they were bugs.
Just
Excellent
ducks.
placement there, Steve.
You're welcome.
Just ducks, not bugs.
Just ducks.
And on that note, I'm going to pick a football team because that connects.
It has to be a bird team.
It has to be, but now it does. So I have chosen so far the Bills and the Bengals. Not that I'd want to choose the Bengals anymore, but both of those teams are now not available to me. I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Bears. That seems like a solid one.
That's a softball. Good pick.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
pick.
Let's nail this one.
All right, good. All right, next up, me.
Ooh, how's it feel, Kyle?
From first
How's
to
it feel?
last.
We're going reverse
I'm
order
getting
here.
nervous. I'm getting nervous. I've got 2 picks lined up, and I just hope you don't take them.
Well, I can only take one, so you're in
Well,
line.
Yeah, you don't take one. What do
Well,
you
I have one that I really want, but I have a backup just in case.
Okay. Well, mine
Which
that I
one do you really want?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay, so my pick, it's one that I will know the result on Friday. I'm going Thursday Night Football, 49ers
Nice.
winning over the Giants.
I like it.
Okay, you guys are taking. I took a pretty for sure one last year with the last week with the Dolphins. You guys are taking some fairly sure ones this week. I'm going risky here, boys.
Ooh, I love it.
I like it.
I
Love
am
it.
taking the Falcons.
Wow.
over the
Wow.
Lions.
What a pick. I love the pick.
I love
Taking
it.
the
I love the
Falcons
risk.
over the Lions. Risk it
Wow.
for the championship, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going big here. We're going big.
That's huge. I love it.
I love it. So far Kyle has picked the Commanders, the Dolphins, and the Falcons. So you haven't necessarily taken some major powerhouses.
You got options
which
out
is
there.
which is great, for the remainder of the season. If you come out 3-0 out of this, that'll be interesting. Steven has taken the Ravens, the Buccaneers, great pick. And I have this backwards, 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 49ers. And I taking the Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals. Arguably the 3 best teams in the AFC last year. So that's tough. I just realized that. Nowhere to go but down. But that's okay.
You're going to be putting your trust in Zach Wilson come week 14.
Oh,
no.
I actually I meant to pick the Jags this week over the Texans. I'll do another week. That's okay. I like the Jaguars over the Texans, but I like the Chiefs over the Bears even more.
Yeah,
There's no way that the Chiefs lose that game.
There's no way, right?
If they lose that game, if Justin Fields beats Patrick Mahomes, oh my
man.
goodness, there's no way.
That's
All
crazy.
right. The
That's
picks
silly.
are,
Yes.
again, locked in.
It's official.
And we are.
Locked.
Kyle, we need like a graphic to go
I
across
know we need a
our
graphic.
face.
Yeah.
And like a sound.
Or like a sound, like a jail cell.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Like
After,
closing.
like if Jackson picks something, he needs a lock to go across his
So he can't change
I know,
it.
you
You
can't
keep changing.
I did end up with the Packers just to set the record straight. That's who I'm going with. I can't pick against you every pick.
Jackson's got the
It's like
keys to the jail cell here.
He just
I
unlocks
do.
it.
Well, I already said I'm just affirming a previous choice I've made earlier on the podcast. You guys just give me a hard time. This is tough.
Oh,
Good stuff
man.
coming up this week. It's going to be a fun week. Lots to watch. Let's just run through. I think we got a little bit of time, so let's keep this short here. We're going to do a little bit of fantasy football. So let's just go over some quick team overviews. Just pick one of your teams, your favorite team or whatever. Some key injuries. I know Jackson was talking about he had. So just a quick.
I can
fantasy
start us on
overview.
that vein.
Go for it.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier in passing, I chose both Aaron Rodgers and Nick Chubb on my my work league. So I don't want to talk about that team. I'm 0-2 there, which is a bummer because both of those players underperformed because they got injured. Which hope they both get better and come back better than ever next year. Prayers up. But the team I'm excited about is actually the team Steven is in this league, and my team looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I do have Saquon in this league, so that's unfortunate. But it's not a high ankle sprain, just like a normal ankle injury. He'll be back in a few weeks. But at the running back position beyond him, I still have Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, and Javonte Williams. So I'm not hurting at running back yet. But if someone else goes down, I might be. In addition to that, Devontae Adams and Mike Evans have been excellent on this team. In addition to having Lamar Jackson, Cowboys defense, which has been awesome.
Huge.
And Jake Moody, the San Francisco kicker, who's the second ranked kicker. So I have a pretty good looking team. I'm confident. Dropped 182 this past week, so big week.
Wow.
We do have the ability to have a second quarterback. So
how many players are in this whole league?
Yeah. You
got a 2-player league going on?
I have an offensive utility player in this league. So my quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and then my bench is Dak Prescott. Gotcha. I teeter between Wilson and Prescott. I've leaned toward Wilson each time just because I don't like the Cowboys, but they are literally projected both 17.8 points, the identical amount this week. So it's an impossible decision.
Wow.
That'll be game time.
Wow.
Prescott is playing Arizona though. So
yeah,
we'll see. Who apparently, according to Kyle, is going to win. But yeah, I like this league. Like this team. Feeling like I'm poised for a good run, barring that Saquon isn't out for multiple weeks. I think if I can get like a few wins while he's gone, and when he comes back, I should be in good shape. So
nice.
All right.
Me.
Nice. Good recap.
I'm listening.
Steve, you want to go?
I'll go. I don't have much, honestly. So I got two. I'm also this is a different league than Jackson's, but I'm in a 2-quarterback league. Tua and Anthony Richardson. Richardson went down with the injury, concussion last week, but he had 2 touchdowns before he went out. But he's a guy that, for fantasy purposes, he's going to be great just because of his ability to run the ball, which is big for quarterbacks. Then for running backs, loving the Christian McCaffrey pick. I've actually never owned him before in fantasy football, so I'm getting my money's worth now.
Owned him.
I've never owned him before.
And then one guy that for wide receivers, I got Calvin Ridley and Devontae Adams, who've been pretty good. Calvin Ridley had an off game, but I don't expect that to continue. And then one guy that I'm just nervous about is Dameon Pierce. Had a great year last year for the Texans, but he's really just not being utilized as well this year. He's gotten off to a slow start. Neither game he's done anything of note. So he's a guy that, I want to have, and if he starts having a better year, he's going to be great for my team. Very critical considering that running backs are hard to come by this year in fantasy football. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm currently 1-1 in that league, with room to grow. So I'm hopeful.
Room to grow.
I like my team. I don't want to make any changes. I just need certain guys to start pulling their weight. Up. I did get Kareem Hunt.
Pierce has been interesting. He's one of those guys that... Oh, you got Kareem Hunt.
I got
That's
Kareem
great.
Hunt, so we'll see after a few weeks if he starts. Obviously, you won't play him for the first 2 weeks, most likely. But he already sort of knows that system. He's familiar with the Browns. So... Mm-hmm.
That'll be a good fit.
I expect him to. He was great a few years ago, so he's still talented. But that's the squad.
Before moving on to Kyle, I just want to say something about Pierce. He's really, really talented. Mm-hmm. Like he's a really good running back. He had some incredible runs last year, but I think the Texans are just that bad. Where he's to your point, he's not being utilized enough, and they're not typically winning a football game, and therefore running the clock is not typically their game flow strategy. Yeah. So it's just it's tough to be on that team. Yeah. I'm really hoping that he either gets on another team or he gets the workload that he probably deserves.
Absolutely.
Nice. I'll just go over my main league that I'm in with my cousins. It was a rough start last week. My quarterback, Josh Allen, obviously had a horrible week, but he had a great bounce back week. This week, I had 126 points, and one of my players scored 0 points, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good showing.
1-1 in this league. I will say, I'm going to give everyone a sneaky pick if you're not already on it. Maybe you can pick him up because I'm sure some people, he's still available. If you want a great pick, go pick up Brian Robinson Jr. for the Washington Commanders. He had a fantastic week last week, and I think he's going to continue to have fantastic weeks. Awesome running back, absolute beast.
Agreed.
A side note on that.
Go ahead.
They're really kind of phasing out Antonio Gibson, which is kind of interesting, which everyone knew would come, but they're really going full force Brian Robinson. So,
which I love that as well because he's the starter in my work league now.
There you go.
That Chubb's gone. I picked him late in the draft. I was hoping he'd have a breakout year.
Did you have him?
Happy to see that
last week or no?
I did have him starting, unfortunately. But I drafted him. There's like 14 rounds in a fantasy draft, probably like 10th or 11th overall. So he was one of those late round draft picks that you just pick young guys that are due for something that haven't quite broken out yet. And that's I'm very excited to see what he does. His projection in my league is only 12.8. I think he's going to get more than that.
Yeah, last week he had 27 points, so he scored more points than any other player on my entire team. I will say, Steven, you were talking about Christian McCaffrey. I also have Christian McCaffrey. Solid pick this year, but I will say in past years he has been absolute doo-doo because he just gets hurt.
Yeah,
I've had him twice, and I could have picked him instead of Saquon.
I almost didn't pick him, and I almost picked Saquon, but I was like, you know what? I believe in Christian McCaffrey, and I'm going to pick him. And I also picked Saquon one year, and he got injured and didn't play all season. So
that's unfortunate.
But 1-1 so far, feeling pretty good. Hopefully, no more injuries pop up for the actual players, and also for the sake of my fantasy team. So,
Agreed.
It's fun.
I'm
fantasy football.
One guy that you guys have probably heard about by now. He's probably off of most people waivers after yesterday's waivers went through. He's come out of nowhere, but Puka Nakua, I think is how you say his name. The dude is crazy. He's the Cooper Kupp during his absence. So through 2 games, he has 25 catches and 266 yards. He's just on fire right now.
That's wild.
So catch him on your waivers if you can.
Who?
He's number 17, Puka Nakua. He's actually the second-ranked fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah,
right
Rams. Now. He's on fire. So pick him up if you can. I got him in one league.
Gosh dang.
He's a hot commodity right now. But great to see
25
him
catches
like
is unbelievable. He had 20 targets against San Francisco. 20 targets. That's incredible.
Wow.
Crazy. He's literally just like Cooper Kupp. That's what Cooper Kupp is.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's a
Wait,
great
did this
pickup.
guy come from BYU?
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember from the Liberty game?
Yes. They threw it to him every single play. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking.
Oh, man.
Man, it has been. We're gonna wrap this up here. It's been a good episode. A lot of good discussions. A lot of good topics. Week 3 is here. NFL and college. Since we talked about a little college, got to throw that in there. It's gonna be a good week. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
Steve, tell them the socials and tell them where they can follow us.
Well, you can follow us over on Instagram or YouTube at Waterboys Podcast. And then feel free to subscribe, leave a review, tell your friends. It all helps us. So we appreciate all the support that we've been receiving. And we're excited to continue to put out some episodes and cover all the latest sports news, mostly football right now. But who knows? Maybe we'll dabble in some others here and there.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us.
Maybe we should have a wheel of different sports we talk about
On next week's episode.
That'd be interesting.
Spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rugby.
Rugby. Hey. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Tell a friend. Follow us. Like it. Share it. Review it. We love it all. And we'll see you next time.